The recent crime stats of South Africa were released not too long ago, and there's some good news, but there's also some bad news. Before I get into that, ladies and gentlemen, please leave a like on this video, share it far and wide, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. All right, let's get into it.
Issues of vibrators.
To make sure that we leave no unturned and stone.
Did I hear that correctly? Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Newsflash. I'm your host, Joe Emilio. Thanks for tuning in. Crime stats show progress, but surge in violence against women, children is troubling, says an expert. Okay, now like I said, there is some good news, so let's start with that. The murder rate in South Africa decreased by 5.8%, sexual offenses decreased by 2.5%, and robbery with aggravating circumstances decreased by 8.8%. Additionally, rape decreased by 3.1%, while robbery at residential premises and non-residential premises decreased by 1.3% and 21.1%, respectively. Now, these are very small improvements, but improvements nonetheless. So at least that gives a little bit of hope that maybe the SAPS is actually starting to do their job. But now it's time for the not so good news. The crime statistics for July to September showed 957 women and 315 children were murdered in the country. The killing of women increased by 8.6%, while the murder of children increased by 7.5%. Assault with intent to cause grievously bodily harm against women decreased by 0.2%. The statistics showed 159 attempted murder cases were opened against children, indicating an increase of 35.7%.
That's disgusting.
So what do these percentages and numbers translate to? 4 children are murdered every day in South Africa. 1 rape case is reported every 12 minutes in South Africa. 73 people are murdered every day in South Africa. 11 women are murdered every day in South Africa. So what is the takeaway here? Well, the takeaway here is that women and children in South Africa need to be protected. Now, I'm going to stop here for a moment because this has happened before where people have commented on my videos when I talk about this kind of stuff and say, yeah, but what about the men? What about the statistics on men? You know, men are also victims, blah, blah. I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. I'm just reporting on what the stats were given, all right? I'm not the guy doing the stats. Okay, and I'm not saying that men aren't victims as well, but we also have to be honest with ourselves. Men are supposed to be protecting the women and children, not hurting them. And let's be honest, men unfortunately do most of these crimes. Now, I did mention that over 70 people in South Africa die every day. That's men, women, and children. And I don't mean to even imply that the male gender is less important than female. No life is more important than the other, but there are lives that are more vulnerable than others. Once again, I'll repeat myself. Every life in South Africa is important. And yes, it is the job of the SAPS to protect civilians, but when SAPS falls apart, it falls on the good people, the good men in our society to protect the vulnerable. And there's a lot of great, good South African men out there. The point I'm trying to make here is a simple one. These crime stats have shown that the vulnerable are being attacked, abused, killed, and the good people of South Africa need to protect them. If the politicians won't do it, then we need to do it. It's great that in some areas, it seems that the authorities have clamped down on crime. One can only hope that this will get better in time, but only time will tell. So the next time there's a round of crime stats, you can be sure that I will let you know what the numbers say. But let me know your thoughts on all this, ladies and gentlemen. Leave a like on this video and also subscribe to the channel. I've got more content coming your way. And with all that being said, thank you for watching. Your Newsflash is in.
I invented the suitcase saver. For all those times when your luggage is just a bit overweight, simply activate the internal arm system, gently lifting your suitcase upward and releasing the additional weight off the scale until it officially drops below the paid minimum amount. Then just as easily retract the arm back into your suitcase just before the airline employee whisks your bag away and you're off to catch your flight.